Hey y'all, welcome to Dig It Homesteading. Today we are going to forage some wild onions and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. And if you're new here, I'm Jamie and welcome. And if you're not new here, thanks so much for coming back. And I'm sure most of you have mowed the grass at some point and smelt onion. Well, I have across the street a very large patch that grows every year of wild onion, and I got to get it cut because every year the state comes through and cuts it for us, so I don't get to harvest. So I'm going to be ahead of the game this year, and I'll take you along with me. It's super easy, and I recommend if you're into foraging or wanting to start that you start here because it's very easy to identify, and the things that it could look alike, it's definitely not going to smell alike. So it makes it for an easy way to harvest something you actually know what it is. And always make double extra sure you're harvesting in a safe area, in a safe environment where it's free of pesticides, herbicides, dumping anything nasties around. I know exactly what goes on this ground, which is absolutely nothing because it's part of my property. So also make sure you're always identifying the plants properly as well because that's very important. Anyway, let's go take a closer look and see what we can get up to. Let's look at one of the ways you can harvest this. And I'll go by the edge of the grass on the road so I don't have to stomp them all. But I just take my finger and go around the plant until I can get to the bottom. And you could use a tool if you wanted to, because if you just pull on them, ooh, this bulb is really deep. I might not be able to get it like that. See, look, if you pull it, the bulb stays in the ground, which has its benefits as well, but if you're wanting to use the bulb, then you're just leaving it in the ground. But this way, the bulb stays in the ground and it can grow back again next year. See, no little bulb. And really, you don't need the bulb. And then you could just wipe off that, and then you'd give it a good rinse before you use it. And you can use it fresh. It's kind of a mix of garlic and onion. Just get your scissors and come through and give it a haircut like you would your green onions. Just like that. And I usually go through and just take the little brown tips off. And we've been using this fresh lately. And then my son has also put some in the freezer to see how that would work. And my guess is it'll be just fine, like green onions. Alright, so I'm going to gather up some of these and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Let me show you. I decided to pull one. And it popped right out. There you go. Little bitty tiny onion bulb, so we'll use that too. And I wanted to mention there's really good foraging books out, and in a little bit I'll show you the one I use, and I will leave a link in the description below if you're interested in it. This guy actually has a Facebook group as well. It's where I found him, and he's very knowledgeable for anything foraging, and it seems to be like just about everything the book discusses is in the area that I'm in, and most of it's going to be probably widespread across the US. So I highly recommend you getting the book. The easiest way to identify these is look for the tall looking grass, and I'll try to get a shot for you to see like how different this patch looks from the grass that's growing around. And then when you smell it, it smells of onion. And then when you taste it, it tastes of onion. So that's the surefire way of knowing you've got what you're looking for here. Anyway, on to more harvesting. Okay, here's a little bit of a longer shot, and where I'm at, I can't really tell if you can see the difference. But let's see, right through here is where the green onion are, and then that way is where the grass starts. So hopefully that comes up good for you guys to see. It's a different green than everything else as well. And you can transplant these and put them in a pot or a bed in your house. And I've actually found some growing in my yard, which isn't surprising as we're right across the street. But we did weed a bit and transplant some of them the other day. And the kids were excited about that. So here is how much of the green onions I have harvested. Just a little tub full. That'll meet my needs for right now. And hopefully I can get out here and get some more in the next couple of days. And I'm gonna just keep doing that until I have exactly the amount that I want. And I'm just picking through any little bits like that. I'm gonna pick through, and I'm gonna take them inside and wash them. Give them a good rinse as well. Just, you know, to get the dirt off. But I'll show you real quick what we did with them. And if you don't harvest them every year before they flower, they can definitely spread and be a weed in your yard. But a weed that I use is not a weed in my mind. So up to you. You may or may not choose to transplant. And also remember to leave a lot. I don't know if you can see. Well, for one thing, there's some going that way too. And like I said, there's some in my yard. But make sure you leave a lot. You don't want to take, say, 90% of something you're trying to forage from, because then how's it going to spread? And if other people come through and then take some as well, we want to leave a whole lot to let it grow and flourish and spread, so we can keep continuing every year to come through and harvest what the earth is giving us. So here is the no-dig bed that we created, I think a year and a half ago. Just putting down cardboard and mulch. And so I do battle some weeds still. And I'm thinking about putting a border around it. Oh, sorry, it's kind of windy. But you can see through here I have little wild onions around this pear tree. We did transplant them, so you might be able to see some of them are a little like, what the heck happened? But other than that, they're doing really good. Okay, so this right here is the book I was telling you about. It's Foraging by Mark Meriwether Vanderburg, and he is a PhD. And I have put off ordering this book for a very long time, so I've just got it in the last couple weeks. And so far, everything I have found in it is lovely. I've already identified many things in my yard, which is awesome. And there's even recipes in the back. So I will link this below if you're interested. And give it a look. And I'd recommend, if you want it, just buy it. It's cheap. I think it was like 12 bucks. And I waited and procrastinated putting it off. But anyway, let's show you what I'm going to do. There's going to be some shadows. My kitchen lighting is horrible. But this is my COSORI all-in-one. It does everything. And I've had it for probably a year and a half now. And I have not had any problems with it. Knock on wood. And I absolutely love it. Well, I'll tell you what one problem is. But it's not even a problem, truly. It's just my problem. Is I do a lot of dehydrating. And there's only 2 racks. So that's what we're going to do here today. Is just kind of lay these out. And I did wash these, so they're going to stick together a bit. So we're just going to get them spread out as good as can be. And I might come through here every once in a while and just kind of run my hands through them. That way they can have even drying. And we're going to see, these should dehydrate just fine, but we'll see how the one with the bulb will do. And I'm not even going to take that bottom off. I'll probably take it off after. It's just the little root tip. But I'm going to just go through and fill these up, giving it enough space. You want it to have nice airflow. Like, see, some of these are still touchy, but all you can do is come through here and stir it a little bit. We'll do the same thing up top. Alright, that's what it looks like. And I will put this on, the lowest mine goes for is 100 degrees. If I could do 95, I probably would. And I think I'm going to do it for 6 hours. And then I'm going to check them. But I'm going to go through and check them anyway, because I'll be home today. So I'll come through here and just kind of stir them around. And I want to show you one more thing. And once they're done, I'll show you how we finish up using these. Okay, I want to show you one more thing. Here in my area, we also have a grass that looks like this. And this just yanked up while I was collecting the green onion, which looks like this. For one thing, this is floppy, this is straight. See if you can see the ribbing. This one has fine ribs. It's wider and it feels different. If I go this way, my fingers kind of grasp that strain of grass. This is smooth and silky all the way through. So this right here is the only thing I really watch for in mine, because it's the only thing that's very similar to this whenever you're harvesting. But it's easy to find. I just found it while I was rinsing off my food, and I pick off any damaged parts of that before I put it in there, like I said about the little tips, and I'm sure they're fine. I just want it to be pretty. So I'll show you what they look like at the end, and hopefully be able to do what I want to do with it today. Alright, so this is the wild onion, and that's what it looks like when it's all dry. And honestly, I have no idea how long these took, because I'd remember them and then I'd forget them, and I'd stir them and then I'd forget them, which is just kind of part in how things happen sometimes, because we are in a rush this week to finish everything we can, because we're going on a cruise soon. So let's try to get these finished up. And I tell you what, I do not know how this blender is gonna do with this, because we want to crush it up into like fine onion powder. And the last couple of times I used this, it just was not working very well. So we're gonna put a few in and see how it does, and we might have to find another solution for this, or I might just have to buy a new blender, because this one's like 500 years old. So I need to try that. So I'm gonna just put in a few and let's see how it goes. Wish me luck. Y'all, I'm so excited. Let me get some out so you can see. It could probably go a lot finer, but I'm just happy to see that it's actually doing what I want it to do and not sounding weird. So I'm gonna finish grinding all these up. Now I'm just going to put this stuff in this old mayo jar, because when you dehydrate stuff, you want to put it in something where it fits loosely. You don't want it tightly packed. And you want to season it for a few days. Which means coming in, shaking it, making sure you have no clumps and lumps or anything like that. I need a funnel or something. Alright, that is how much I got out of 2 trays because I used this COSORI all-in-one. So that is quite a lot of free wild onion powder, which is how I will use it. And if you want it finer, you could definitely get a spice grinder or your mortar and pestle, something along those lines, and do that. This is a great way to have super cheap garlic powder, onion powder, super cheap onion powder for yourself, but you know where it came from and that there's no preservatives and things like that in. And plus, aside from a little bit of electricity for the dehydrator, it's free. So if you have a solar dehydrator or just one that air dries, the little ones with the racks, I can link one of those below that I have and I like, and I have not used it for these, then it would be completely free. I like free. But anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Please help us by subscribing, liking, and leaving us a comment. Until the next one, love you, bye-bye.